class of my 8th grade, and 8th grade parents, 8th grade students. We've already had the talk about we want you to continue playing in the high school. And most of the students have made their course selections, but maybe if they didn't sign up, they still could get in. We want these kids to continue playing in the high school. Mrs. Scuderi is our high school orchestra director. She's here with me tonight. And Mr. Stanford, we've been doing all kinds of things together. And we talk all the time about going from Mr. Gibson, who was here tonight also, in our 4th and 5th grade to the middle school to the high school. So hopefully they'll go up the street and join. So 8th grade concert band class, please stand when I say your name and we'll hold our applause. Chase Alexander, Desiree Clark, Jaden Coffey, Austin Cooper, Haley DeLuca, Drew DeGrazio, and he also plays in jazz band, Liam Doherty, Ivan Liu, and a special thank you to Ivan. He made our slideshow that you were able to see before the concert. Kaylee Luckband, give a wave, Kaylee, from percussion. Luca Morera, Will Olson, who you also heard in the orchestra, and he's also in the jazz band. Adeline O'Neill, Kaden Ortiz, Caleb Pekarsky, Derek Pachalski, he's in our percussion and plays in the jazz band. Genevieve Rogers, who also plays in the wind ensemble and the jazz band, and she went to county band. John Schuler and Brielle Smith, our 8th grade concert band class. Thank you. We're going to bring our wind ensemble back and just do one little combined band piece. Concert band parents, no concert band tomorrow morning. You may applaud. But if you saw my email from yesterday, I'm sorry to make everyone come one more week, but next week, Monday, we do have wind ensemble, Wednesday, orchestra, Thursday, concert band. And that is because the following Tuesday, we have what's called that adjudication at Dorney Park, and we will be playing 2 of the selections in each of the groups that we played this evening for judges' ratings. So I want to make sure that we are just ready for that. So thank you for those mornings, and but no concert band tomorrow.
Currently, we are preparing for our next combined song. Until then, I have something to say. My name is Colin Letcher. I'm an 8th grader. I play percussion. I would like to thank Miss Boyer for her dedication and work to the band program. This band program is amazing. It can turn kids from irresponsible to responsible. It can build friendships. It can build responsibility. And we can only thank one person for that. Miss Boyer, can we give her a round of applause, please? Miss Boyer, back in elementary school, there was a small closet, effectively, the band room. It turned from that into a classroom in the span of a year. I remember walking into a band room, 6th grade, seeing all the instruments spread around the massive room. It was so much more impressive than what it used to be back in elementary school. I have enjoyed my experience in the ETR band program, and any kids who are interested in joining, I hope they do join. That's all I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you so much for coming out this evening. I did tell them we don't have to play tomorrow, but actually, parents, we really need to go over the Dorney Park thing, so if you will take the shirt home, read through the packet, and I'll be sending you a couple emails. That day after Memorial Day, Tuesday the 27th, is our Dorney Park Day. They've got to be here on time to school. So we'll go over it in class, and if you can go over that too, we should have a great trip. Thank you.